Hello, my friends, and welcome to the only show that if you stink, it's okay to have BO on the show. It's the only show that we can gather around in the coat of it stinks and we can talk about TV shows, movies, everything from Netflix, Amazon Prime to Peacock to Hulu to you name it. We can talk about it right here on this platform. So much to get into this week, so much to dive into another great episode of Tulsa King. And everybody who's been waiting, this is the Tulsa King and the From It Stinks. Another great episode of From. Going to be going back to both episodes to get you ready for this Sunday when both of them come. It feels like Tulsa King is getting ready to wrap up this Sunday, so I can't wait to see what happens. If you're watching From and you're a From watcher like me, 2 more episodes, then it wraps up for the season. Then we have to wait a whole nother calendar cycle for both of those shows to come out. Also, some announcements of new TV shows coming out. Stay tuned. You're watching It Stinks on the Boom broadcast.
Quiet on the set. Can we please have quiet on the set?
It stinks.
Welcome back. We just got the credits out the way, so we are so glad to be here today talking TV shows. And this is the From, and this is the Tulsa King week right here. We've been putting it on. We talked about Found last week. They're Irrational last week. Talked about a few Chicagos. Maybe try to hit Chicago before we get out of here today. Good episode of Chicago. But this is the Found and Tulsa King, and Tulsa King just been superb. Every episode has just built to where now when they end the season on Sunday night, you're ready for it. For all my From watchers, 2 more episodes to go. That's right, 2 more to go before we end that season. And then we'll have to wait for Tulsa King and From a whole entire another calendar year. We'll have to wait for it. But you feel like both of them being good. Tulsa King has just not let down since the first episode to where we're at now. And all the characters have pretty much gone on a journey that, keeps you so heavily involved in Tulsa King. From, a lot of my friends who watched From kind of got confused because they felt like the past 2 episodes before this one that dropped on Sunday were kind of like, connector episodes. And when you got a good series like From, you need those connector episodes. Like being on a flight, being on a train. I know a lot of you guys have traveled and ladies have traveled, had to go, if you're on a flight, connect to Atlanta to get to California, or connect in New York to get to Chicago, or connect to Chicago to get to California, or connect somewhere in Louisiana and New Orleans to get to Arizona. You had to do that. And that's what From has done on the past 2 episodes. It has connected us to where we are at now with this episode. 2 more to go From. But before we talk about any of those shows, so much new TV is coming out in November, and it's kind of weary that we're this close to the holidays. But before we go on that, we want to rewind. Let's hit the rewind button. Happy belated Veterans Day to any of the veterans, men and women that's watching It Stinks right here on Boom Broadcast. We thank you for your service, because without your service, whether you're still serving or you have served, we the people on Boom Broadcast would not be able to bring you this great content every day, Monday through Sunday, right here on YouTube. So hats off to you guys and ladies who have served in any branch of the armed services. We truly thank you for your service and dedication. Now, let's jump back. Let's see what we got coming out. Let's jump in the time machine and go forward, see what we got coming out. Well, on Tuesday night, one of my favorite shows came on. And we'll be talking about this show. And I'm really going to tell you guys deep into the crates about me now. I'm a big fan of Moonshiners. I don't like the way it is now. I feel like we got too commercial. I wanted to go back to like season 1 through 5 when you had Jim, Tim, Triple, and all them hiding in the woods, making shine. The law was right on the tail. It kind of felt like the old school Smokey and the Bandit movie, where the bandit with Burt Reynolds, and you had the cop, Sheriff Beaver T. Jones chasing Bandit all over. That's how the first couple seasons of Moonshiners felt to me. And now it's kind of got commercial because Tim now has a commercial line of liquor. Tickle has kind of come out of the woods and working with Tim, working with other people to make this. Jim and Billy kind of come out the woods doing their own thing now. Some seasons they're on, some seasons they're not. So it's kind of not being the old school moonshine, but I wanted to get back to old school guys in the woods, billboard overalls with a steel, making shine, running from the law. That was what made us like moonshiners, because we were cheering for the villain. Who was the villain? The moonshiners. We wanted to see them get ahead of the law, make that shine, make that sell, and keep on going. So big fan of moonshiners. I really think Discovery Plus has done a good job on making sure that show kind of stays in the bound. But I can understand with so many of them guys not wanting to keep risking having to go to jail or get in trouble with the law, going legit and said, hey, let me give my recipe to a distillery who can make my shine and make me now, instead of a guy who's selling stuff out the back of a truck in any type of establishment to be sold. So, hey, I can understand that, but really would like to see it get back to the old ways. Let's see what else we got. Well, we found out this week, breaking news, that Wednesday, one of my favorite shows on Netflix. I was a big fan of the Wednesday series, big fan of the Addams Family as a kid. So, when I found out that Wednesday was going to have a show on Netflix, definitely had to tune into it. Found out that Wednesday now will be coming back 2025. They are actually filming it right now to drop in 2025. If you have not gone to watch Wednesday, season 1 on Netflix, go back. Check it out on your downtime on a Saturday. You got nothing to do. There's no football on. There's no wrestling on, no basketball, no college basketball, no hockey. Hey, baseball season's over with. When you have nothing to do, just peel back to Netflix. Check it out. It was a good series, and they did a good story of telling Wednesday, because we always saw Wednesday with the Addams Family, but did we really know who Wednesday was? We knew about Gomez. We knew about Morticia. We knew about Lurch, Uncle Fester, Thing, Cousin Ed. We knew about Alda Pugsley, but we never really saw Wednesday because she kind of was like the daughter of Gomez and Morticia, who was just there. We got the Wednesday dance on the Addams Family back in the days that everybody used to love to see her do and that we all done as kids, but we never got the true origins of who really was Wednesday. Who is she? This tells a good story of Wednesday and Pugsley from the Addams Family. So definitely dial back if you have not watched that and you're into the Addams Family, or you're just looking for a good dark comedy, not a ha-ha comedy, a ha-ha dark comedy. Very good show to go back and watch. I would highly recommend you go watch Wednesday. Now, as we continue on, we also found out that Netflix, once again, is the gift that keeps giving. You're giving us Wednesday in 2025, and a show that I thought would just fizzle out because due to the pandemic, they were unable to finish filming, and the actors were outgrowing the parts. And I said, here's a show that's going to fizzle out, just kind of fade to the black. We'll never hear from it again. Was a good series on Netflix, but won't be back. And that's Stranger Things. And lo and behold, what do we find out? Stranger Things is coming back for the final season. Season 6 on Netflix will drop in 2025. Would really like to see how they end the story. Been a fan of Stranger Things since I bumped into it in season 1 on accident. Was watching something on Netflix. It rolled right on, kept it season 1, season 2, and just stay with it. And a lot of these shows, when you're especially using children actors, as they age, the show kind of has to fade out. I mean, another good show was on CW, Riverdale. Riverdale had to fade out because Archie, Victoria, all of them were getting old. I can't name none of the cast of Riverdale. I was a fan of the Archie comics as a kid. Wow, Shawn. But Archie and all of them were getting old. Betty Cooper, all of them were getting old. So they had to phase it out. And I thought that was going to happen to Stranger Things, but they're going to find a way to end it. Would love to see how they end it right here. Been a great show on Netflix. So as we continue cruising along to see what else is coming out on the world of TV, before we jump into Tulsa King and From, Cobra Kai Part 2, Season 6, drops November 15th. We'll definitely check it out. If you have not watched Cobra Kai and you are a fan of Karate Kid 1, 2, and 3, the old school Karate Kids with Mr. Miyagi, Daniel-san, Johnny, Sensei Lawrence, Alden Kreese, Terry Silver, If you're a fan of all of that right there, this is the series for you. Start with one and just work your way through. Watch one. Once again, one of those shows, just watch, see how it's going to be. Been a big fan of it. Part 2 of season 5 drops on the 15th. Season 6 drops on the 15th of November. This is a 3-part series. So after this one drops, the final part of the series will drop in 2025 and Cobra Kai will be done. But I don't think it will be done completely. I think a lot of the older characters will be kind of faded out and they'll bring it back under a new name with all the new characters. So I think that's said up. Big fight on the 15th. Mike Tyson and Jake Paul. Definitely on the 15th. Be watching that. I'll be at a football game, but I'm going to have that on. We'll be talking about that one on WOD. Let's see what else we got coming out in November before we get to our 2 shows this week on the show. Let's see, November line this week. We're going to talk about that. Been catching up on that. Good show on Paramount Plus. If you're in the SEAL team, if you like SWAT, SEAL team, this is the show for you. Like we said, Linus is about a CNA detective, CNA agency that go undercover to do a lot of stuff. So definitely check that out. December, let's see what we got in December. Besides Charlie Brown's Christmas, we know that's coming. We don't really have that much in December coming out that was really going to catch our eyes. You got Daredevil coming out March 4th. That's 2025. But December is really not that much coming out that's really catching my eyes to say we need to watch it. So we'll be pretty much doing the Chicago's, all that in December as that wraps up. Well, let's not hold the people up no more. We're getting around about that 10, 30-second mark of the show, that 10, 15-second mark of the show, maybe the 10-minute mark of the show. I'm mentally counting in my head. Let's talk about arguably one of the best 2 episodes of Tulsa King ever. And we're going to hit the highlight of number 7 to get to number 8. So the highlight of 7 is all at the end. 7 builds up because you're starting to see now that Dwight is teaching everybody the way of the family, him and Goody. Goody is Italian, like Dwight. They know how Mafia family runs. But you got people like Tyson, who's now going from being the driver more heavily involved in the family business. So it starts off with Tyson saying, I messed up. You guys gonna kick me out? Gonna kill me? Punish me? What's it gonna be? I set my fate. I didn't listen to Dwight. I made a dumb decision, an impulsive decision. I need to set my fate. And I fall out laughing because Dwight looks at him like he don't get it. And then Goody says he doesn't get it at all. And I started laughing because I knew what the inside joke was. And that's one thing about Tulsa King. They give you those inside jokes that if you watched a lot of stuff like The Sopranos, like The Godfather, if you watch movies like Scarface, all that stuff, you understand the importance of majority of those shows and movies. The family sticks together. We may fight. We may fuss. We may agree to disagree. We may disagree to agree. We may hate each other's stinking guts. But at the end of the day, we're family. We stick together. And when one messes up, we find a way to fix it all together as a family. So when Mona say he don't get it, he don't get it. I bust out laughing because I said, Tyson sitting there looking like, huh? What are you guys talking about? And then that's what Dwight says, you messed up, but we're family. Family never turns their back on each other. We'll figure out a way to get this right. So as the show continues building on, we're just going to hit the highlights to get to 8. You got Thrasher, who's been after Dwight. So now Dwight's found out that the white car was hired, who blew up the navigator that puts Tyson's dad in the hospital and almost killed Tyson. Well, almost killed his dad, was aiming for Tyson and Dwight. They found out who it comes from. Dwight tells Thrasher, if you had anything to do with this, I will murder you. I will kill you. Thrasher said he has nothing to do with this. He goes around and Dwight's trying to figure out, who is this person that did this to me? Dwight's ready to go to war. I mean, he knows it's either Bill or Thrasher that's had the car blown up. So he's ready to go to war. We find out at the end of the episode that Tyson now is continuing to look. So they're trying to figure out who did this. So it gets back to Dwight when him and Thrasher have that meeting. He said, I don't know. I had nothing to do with Dwight. Trust me, if I wanted to kill you, I would have killed you. Not do it that way. Well, to make a long story short, in this episode, Thrasher goes back to Ming and says, "Hey, Ming, did you have anything to do with that bombing on Dwight Manfredi's car, the general's car?" He says, "Yeah, my guys did that." And Thrasher looks at him and says, "Man, you just opened up a can of worms that we did not want to open, because guess what? Now Dwight's coming for us. When he found out that we had this and I lied to him, he's coming for blood. He's coming for vengeance. You won't be able to stop it." Well, Ming finds a way to say, "Well, you know what? Is what it is. I don't care about Dwight." Well, we didn't know that Ming had already wanted to take over everything. He takes over. He tells Thrasher, "You out." Thrasher says, "I'm not out. This is my stuff. You can't kick me out. Hostile takeover." There goes Thrasher out. So now Ming's got Thrasher pretty much. Thrasher out is either go out now, bow out gracefully, or get shot and die out. So Thrasher bows out. Now Thrasher's on the edge and start leading up to the next episode. But then we get the end, because now Goody's in there. Dwight and all them are taking off to go. They got a tip or where they thought the car was at. Dwight, Tyson, all them take off. Bigfoot take off. And what do we get? We get Goody left behind. I said, okay, something's going to happen. Then Amon shows up. And as you know, Amon is spiraling out of control. He lost his job at the ranch. He got fired. Then he went to Thrasher. Thrasher said, "You're no good to me no more." Before Thrasher got iced out his group, "You're no good to me no more, Amon. You know, you can't feed me information. Done with you." Next, he's just, on an island by himself. He's lost his kids. He's been divorced. He's going to lose the house. Everything bad that could happen has happened to Amon. Finally, he makes that call. And one thing about Tulsa King was, when he made that call, I said, he's getting ready to do something very ridiculous that's going to hurt it. That's going to hurt him in the future. When he calls his kids and say, "Dad's about to do something that may not be good." So what do we get? He goes to Dwight's club and robs the club for $500,000. And I was so worried, because Goody's one of my favorite people on the show. I really like Goody. The guy who plays Goody is a true Italian. The accent, the way he dresses, everything about the guy who plays Goody is a true mafia person. And I was like, oh man, please don't kill Goody, man. Amon, whatever you do not kill Goody, because he's one of my favorite people on the show. What happens? He shoots him. I said, oh man, Goody's dead. But he shot in the air and hit the ceiling as a warning to Goody. Goody pretty much tells Amon, you just signed your death certificate. Don't take the money. Just walk out of here. Well, like nothing ever happened. Amon takes the $500,000 and is gone. Goody told him, you just signed your death certificate. We'll find you. We will kill you. And that's how it ends. And I'm sitting there saying, oh man, Amon stole the money from Dwight. Wow. I can't believe this happened. But guess what? We go into the next episode. We find out that the guys are meeting. They know Amon has the money. Amon now spiraling out of control on the entire episode. He's just out of control. But the bad thing that happened was our friend, the Indian, got shot leaving the dispensary. So they start off with the funeral. Everybody's at the funeral for our Indian friend that the whites were good friends with, that they became friends with the deal they made. And the tribe tells Dwight, we got more muscle for you. They said, we want justice. We got more muscle for you. So they got some other Indians off the reservation that's ready to go to war for one of their people dying. Eye for eye, tear for tear, blood for blood. Dwight says, we're going to track down who done this. Thrasher goes to meet with Dwight's girlfriend and says, we need to have a meeting. He said, I need to meet with Dwight. Can you make it happen? She says, no. He said, your ranch could be taken over because I made a deal with Ming and Ming has iced me out. She said, we can make it happen. Dwight, she goes to Dwight. Now, during the funeral, let's jump back. During the funeral, Dwight was given an axe. And I knew the significance of them giving an axe because when they said his wife wanted you to have his battle axe, I said, that's going to be the tool that Dwight uses at the end to get back at Ming. But we'll get back to that. Right here on these things. We'll get back. So then Dwight now has a meeting when he says no. Goes and meets with Bill. They have a sit down. Bill and Thrasher all have a sit down with Dwight. Dwight says, I'll get back with you. I don't want to have nothing to do with it. Bill and Thrasher said, we got a common enemy. It's Ming. He wants to take out you, Dwight, take me out, and he's already taken out Thrasher, because guess what? He wants Tulsa to himself and run all the operations. So what happens? Dwight says, no, I'll get back with you. That's Dwight. That's Dwight. That's the general. Get back with you. As time progresses on, Armand shows up to Ming and tells Ming, I stole his money. I have nothing to live for no more. I'm just a walking man. I'm a dead man walking. I'm a dead man walking. Guess what? I can help you because we can do two things together. One, you can get rid of my Dwight problem. Two, you can get rid of Dwight and now you can take over his portion of Tulsa. And Ming is very interesting because Ming says, so you want me to do your dirty work so you can steal the money, but you can't kill the man. And that's what Amon says, I'm not a killer. I'm just a thief. And I know that every day I'm breathing on this world with Dwight, he's going to find me, and he's going to make me pay for what I done. So now, I'm like, Amon, man, come on, man. You're the biggest rat in Tulsa right now. You sold, Thrasher got nothing to do with you, so now you're trying to sell him out. You sold Dwight out because you had to pay Dwight for being on the payroll. Like, come on, Amon. Like, come on, what kind of guy are you, man? I thought you really was like, cool. I'm looking at them all like this. But we get the monkey wrench because Dwight sends his girlfriend to go stay at his place. Dwight, Bill, and Thrasher have come together. And when Omar brings Ming and his people there, I said, oh, man, they're getting ready to come for Dwight. They're going to catch him, my boy Bigfoot, off guard. Goody's somewhere at the apartment. Tyson's with his dad, back home with his dad recovering. Like, none of the group is there. None of the core guys are there. Mitch is at the bar. He's at the bar right now. Like, it's not the perfect time, Mom. Like, you really are a snake. But we find out. And I knew something was right because they start getting closer and closer to the ranch. Mom starts coughing. And I said either one of two things. Either he is about to throw up on himself because he's getting ready to now get so in deep with having the assassination of Dwight that he knows now that if he don't get out of Dodge, it's over, or if this is a setup. And what do we find out? The biggest setup of all time. The General Dwight Manfredi, Bill, and Thrasher all come together on one united front. For one time, these guys have been bickering for 8 episodes to take out one common enemy, Ming, who was trying to take all 3 of them out for a hostile takeover. Dwight wins on this one. They bury Ming in the ranch. And then we find out that when Dwight had a visitor that night, when Bigfoot said, we got a visitor, it was Armand. We never knew who that visitor was because it shot to another scene. So we're just assuming that it was somebody like Bill or Thrasher coming to see Dwight. It was Armand, and Dwight could have killed Armand that night, but his first wife stopped him. And then that's when he told Armand, there's still time to make it right. Let's make it right. What do we need to do? This is what I want you to do. And it was the biggest and best setup for revenge. The Indians got revenge for their guy getting killed. Dwight, Thrasher, and Bill take out one common enemy, Ming. Now things are back the same because you got to remember, before all this blood was shed on the street with Bill and Dwight, because Bill thought that Dwight had when Dwight sent a body to Bill, they pretty much had a thing going on, but then they end up beating on common ground to settle stuff. So now everything is back calm. But here's the kicker for Tulsa King that sets up the final episode. And I'm going to give you a spoiler on this of what I think the final episode is going to be. Benny's running New York. Benny, as you remember on episode 6, Benny met with the other family's representatives and told them that with Chicky running their family, they're going to fall down. They're going to fall to waste. He exiled Dwight to Tulsa. Things haven't been good. He's got an attitude. He's a hothead. He went to customs at the airport, forgot to take his gun off his foot bracelet, all of this stuff. He convinced them that they need to put him in power. And that's what they do. They have a sit-down meeting with Chicky, and the families tell Chicky, you've been demoted. Vinny's moving up. Vinny's the boss. Now you're the underboss. And Vinny tells Cheeky, that's, oh man, like, Vinny, you got some stone, man. Vinny tells Cheeky, whenever a takeover is done like this, either one of two ways. Either it's a sit-down conversation, or either I take you out and become the boss. We're going the easy way. And we're hoping you would accept that I am now running. Then he calls Cheeky and says, Dwight don't want to talk to me, because you remember Dwight told Vinny, things are getting hot in Tulsa. I'm sending my daughter back to New York. If I hear one word that you follow her, you follow my grandkids, you knocked on the door, you sent somebody by to see her. If I hear one word of anybody visiting my daughter, my grandkids, I put a bullet in your head. Benny wants to work with Dwight, but they got that bad history between each other with something when Benny did something to his daughter, when he was stalking his daughter, trying to get her, intimidate her when Dwight was locked up and just got back to Tulsa. He was doing that stuff. So that history between them is bad blood. But Benny and the families in New York feel like, Benny's told him, I feel like if we can extend the olive branch to Dwight, then guess what? We can have Tulsa and make money in Tulsa too and spread the wealth. But guess what? Dwight don't want to work with Vinny. So what does he do? He calls Cheeky and says, Cheeky, I'm going to send you to see Dwight. I have a meeting with him. Cheeky said, well, how did your meeting go? Vinny never told the truth. If you remember episode 5, Vinny got nothing. When Bill, Dwight, and Vinny all sat down, Vinny asked them, what does New York get? Bill says, the milkshakes. And Dwight says, yeah, both of them. That's all you get, New York. Bill, I'll pay you a percentage of what I make off the farm. Bill, you pay me a percentage of what you make with your stuff. One hand wash the other. So he's sending Cheeky there. Now, I think, here's my spoiler for the final episode this season. Cheeky couldn't take the plane, found out that he was on the ban list as a national terrorist for coming through customs with a gun, and he just told her, I simply forgot to take it off. So he's going by train. And it kind of that part right there mirrored back to the 3rd episode when Dwight and Goody traveled to Atlanta, and Goody said, what happened to the days when a man could just travel on the train, see the world, see the entire nation from New York to California on the train, and then just enjoy 4 to 5 days on the train. So when they showed Cheeky on the train, I thought about Goody when he said that. Said, oh man, Cheeky's going the old school way. But what I really think is going to happen is Cheeky's going to come to Tulsa. Now, Cheeky's had an attitude the whole time with Dwight. He's been a hothead. But I think Cheeky now is pissed off because he's been replaced as the boss, and the underboss, Vinny, that asked him, is now calling the shots, and Cheeky's got to bye-bye. Because I'm telling you one thing about, if you watch Sopranos, if you watch the Godfather movies, like Dwight told Tyson in the episode last week, family sticks together. No matter what happens of the hierarchy. If I get demoted and you get promoted, we're still family. But I think Cheeky's going to come there, and I think Cheeky's going to turn on Vinny and rat Vinny out and join Dwight's crew. Now, that could be a long shot, wild guess. We don't know, but that's what I think is going to happen. I think he's going to join Dwight's crew, and guess what? That's going to give Dwight more power now, because now you got Cheeky from New York that can now control New York from over there in Tulsa. We don't know what's going to happen. Like I said, Cheeky's the wild card on this show. You don't never know which Cheeky you're going to get. He killed his dad so that he could become the boss of the family. So we don't know. Maybe he'll come there and try to put a bullet in Dwight. Maybe Dwight will put a bullet in him. Well, I doubt he puts a bullet in Dwight because the show is based off Dwight. Maybe Dwight puts a bullet in him. Don't know, but this is a great show. I mean, Tulsa King, probably one of the best American mafia shows. And I mean, you got the Sopranos, you got the Godfather shows, you got the one that came on HBO. Right now, to me, Tulsa King has blown them out the water. And all of those shows were great shows that I enjoy watching. But Tulsa King, to me right now, feels like you got the Sopranos and you got one of my favorite movies, No Country for Old Men, mixed into one. And that's why I like No Country for Old Men, because it was a Western, but it was about mafia, drug monies, all that stuff. You know, all that stuff was mixed into a Western movie. And I feel like I'm getting Sopranos with my left hand. You're right if you're watching this. And I'm getting Tulsa King, No Country for Old Men with my right hand. You're left if you're watching this. And you're taking the Sopranos and No Country for Old Men and you combine them together and you're getting Tulsa King right here. Great episode right here. Tulsa King is just kicking right now. Hope you just enjoyed my breakdown of Tulsa King right here on Instinct. That's time for part 2 of the show. It is time to go to Fromville. Where's my bell? It's time to ring the bell. The creatures are coming out at night, and I need to go in the house and put my talisman up on the wall to stop the creatures from getting in and from eating my entire body. That's what I have to do. As I said at the beginning of the show, a lot of people in the Fromville universe were a little disappointed with the past 2 episodes leading up to this one because they were the conductors. And that's one thing about From that I tell people. Every episode can't be a home run. And to me, every episode has been a good home run or been a good storyline to lead us to the next episode on Sunday. You can't be like Tulsa King. Tulsa King can knock a home run every episode because it's steady building you up to that final episode. From has to build and they have to continue telling those small backline storylines to the main storyline of why we're watching it. So as you know, Victor and his dad have gotten Jasper. Victor sees a creature in the daytime in the cave. Scary scene right there for Victor. Very scary scene. I said, wow, the creatures don't come out till the nighttime. But last time Victor was in the cave with Tabitha, they were asleep and they had to be quiet not to wake them. She's awoke and she told Victor, if you keep hanging in these caves, maybe next time we'll let you stay a little longer. Catch my drift? I said, holy smokes, Victor, get out of there now. Go. G.O., go. Him and his dad get out of there. They get Jasper. He says that he has to make Jasper talk. He said that Jasper was telling Chris the message of what's going on, of how to get out of here. And if I can make Jasper talk, I can save the town and get everybody out. So the show continues to build on. Elgin now is with the camera. And I told you, man, reading Goosebumps as a kid, when I seen him get that Polaroid camera in the basement, I said, leave that camera in the basement, Elgin. Don't touch the camera. Leave it there. It isn't bothering you. Don't bother it. Of course, if you remember Goosebumps, R.L. Stein, when we were kids, we all read the 3rd, 4th, 5th grade. He had the one about the Polaroid camera that was a haunted camera that took pictures of showing you how you would die or get in trouble. Leave the camera alone, but he gets the camera. He starts taking pictures. Key thing that I got from that was when he took the picture of Fatima, you saw the ghost lady that's been haunting him over her shoulder. That's a key thing out of that. But as we build into this next episode, the camera now is taking pictures by itself, and they're giving Elgin the clues of figuring something out. Show continues to build on. Fatima is not having a baby. Her stomach, they said they could not find a baby inside her stomach. They looked all over. Cassie looked all over for the baby. They could not find it. Fatima said there's something going on. The show continues to build. It continues to build to the main point of now. You have Fatima where people think she's losing her mind. Has she gone crazy? Elgin is still following these pictures that the camera now mysteriously is taking without him hitting the button. The first one shows him a cabin. They go to the cabin. When I saw the cabin, I said, this is the cabin where Victor hid it when the massacre happened several years ago in Fromville. Him and his sister hid here, but his sister left and did not listen to her mom, who said, stay in the cabin. Do not leave till morning. I said, what is Elgin going to this cabin for? He goes in the cabin. He sees nothing. Same thing we saw when Victor showed to us. Nothing, just a cabin. I remember when Victor showed it that there was a bed and stuff in there. I said, where's the bed and all that stuff? He opens up this chest of drawer. Nothing in it. He walks away and he hears a knock on the chest of drawer. He goes back, opens it up again. There's nothing in the drawer. I'm like, oh man, Fromville, here we go. Here we go, Fromville. Now it's time to step on the gas. He slides the chest of drawer over and see there's a door behind the chest of drawer. Opens up the door. He sees a bed. He sees all this stuff. He starts to look around and he sees a tarp on the floor. He pulls the tarp back and we see a corpse of a dead body right there. I said, uh-oh, mind blown. Who's the body? Who's this dead person? Who is it? Somebody tell me. Give me some answers right now. That's what I'm saying. The story progresses on because now you got elder stories going on. Fatima saying there's something going on with her, but you still got Gabe, Jim, and Tabitha and their son Ethan. So Ethan, as always, be Ethan, go visit the neighborhood people. He's the neighborhood pest. I call him neighborhood pest because to me, he gets on everybody's nerves. He goes and visits Gabe. Gabe's in there still trying to figure all this stuff out, trying to connect the dots, cross the T's, and do everything in between. And what happens? Tabitha stops by. So he tells Tabitha he had the vision of 3 rocks and all this stuff. Tabitha said, I had these dreams when I was a kid, and I would hide behind the big rock because on the other side of the big rock with the red on the top, there was something scaring the people. I never understood what it meant as a kid, but I had these dreams. And you got to remember now, Tabitha is what Eloise was. Victor's mom is Eloise. She's the chosen one to save the children in Frumville. We still don't know who the children are, except those little creepy kids who walk around screaming a cooey all the time. Those may be the kids she got to save. She's the chosen one. Eloise was the chosen one, and she died. We presume she died. So now Tabitha's the chosen one. She's been having these visions since a kid. They go out to the woods. When Jim sees Tabitha, Gabe, and Ethan come out there, he goes in Jim mode. He just blows a gasket. He gets back in town. He tells Tabitha that he goes to Gabe, blows up with Gabe. You don't need to have my wife out there. She's been through a lot. She's just getting back. She says she got out. Now she's back. You don't need to have her out there. You just need to leave her alone. Leave my family alone. Typical Jim moment. But Victor Dad comes out and tells Jim, I didn't believe my wife when she said she had to save the kids, that she has a mission to do. You know, kind of talks Jim off the ledge. Jim, looking at Gabe like, if anybody's going to help figure out how to get us out of Frumville, besides Boyd, besides Donna, Boyd and Donna right now, their job is to keep everybody safe. Boyd has more of a responsibility of being the leader of the town by getting them out. But the main people in the town, the Gabes, the Jims, the Victors, they're the ones, Tabitha, Sarah, they're the ones who are going to figure out the clues to get us out. So kind of looking at Jim like, that was kind of a prick move, Jim. This guy's been working hard. He's an engineer. His mind is telling him there's some way that we can shift the parallel, say that 4 times fast, of the earth balance to get out of here. There's a way out. Let me work. Let me cook, as we say on Nightcap. And Jim just goes off on the guy. So I'm like, but Jim's got some stuff he's battling because ever since that phone rang and he found out he was talking to his deceased son, Thomas, it's kind of been unbalanced with Jim right now. He's kind of been battling stuff with both of the kids, with Julie, with Ethan, with Tabitha. He's just been spiraled out of control. That's what Frumville can do because we saw that happen with Boyd's wife. She spiraled out of control until she went on a massacre, killing everybody, just like Chris did. Chris spiraled out of control and went on a massacre and killed everybody. So they continue on with the show, and now Elgin is in the colony house, and another picture shows up, and it shows a leader of blood. I'm like, that's kind of weird. Who would need a leader of blood? Well, then I start thinking, who's the only person in Frumville who drunk blood? Fatima. Because right now she's been eating rotten food. She's been drinking human blood from a deceased corpse. Like she's just, man, Fatima's just, I don't know where she's at right now. Man, she's on Mars somewhere. So as we continue on, we get to the main part of the episode before we get to last Sunday's episode, is Tilly tells Ellis, I want to help Ellis. Nobody believes what Fatima is going through. I believe her. Nobody believes there's a baby inside her. I believe her. Let me help y'all. Nobody wants to help you. Everybody thinks both of you are crazy. Let me help you. You cannot depend on your dad, boy. Let me be able to help you. So Fatima goes into the greenhouse. I said, please don't eat the rotten food, Fatima. Don't eat the rotten food. Whatever you do, don't eat it. What does Fatima do? She gets ready to eat it. She pushes it back. Tilly's coming in with some tea, and she's got some carrots and some fresh kale and some fresh mustard salad and some fresh green beans, all this stuff, fresh cabbage that they found. She's bringing it into Fatima to eat and try to eat with her and talk with her. Fatima grabs a pair of shears and stabs Tilly. And I said, oh man, Miss Tilly's dead. Elliot walks in and he sees her dead. And he just goes shocked. And in Fromville, when you kill somebody or somebody is killed because of negligence, you as a adult or negligence on your behalf, you got to go in the box, in the hole. And in the box, they feed you to the creatures. That's your punishment. That's how they've been able to keep everybody safe. I said, well, how would Boyd deal with this being that this is his daughter-in-law? Pick up the episode on Sunday. They start right there. Boyd gets out, rushes her to the cabin in the woods, puts the talisman in, says, whatever you do, you don't open up that door. Keep the door shut. Elgin now, we find out, is going to the hospital and getting some blood. And we gotta forget, we forgot one point about the previous episode, was Randall took Julie for a ride. Julie said she never got a chance to get a license because they were going to get it when they came back from vacation. He takes Julie on a ride, teaches Julie how to drive. Real nice moment for Randall. Randall starts to freak out because he sees those flies flying into the car. So him and Julie pull over. He gets out. He's hallucinating. He's all on the ground. Julie asks, was he okay? He comes out of it. They go walking in the woods. He said, let's just go. We'll leave the car. Come back, get it tomorrow. Let's just go. Get back. Let's get back to the colony house. Or get back to the hospital. As they're walking in the woods, they find the fort that Boyd went in where he met Marvin, where he had to go destroy the music box. Julie can feel the presence of that building there, and Randall can feel it, and Julie wants to go inside to see what it will lead to, but Randall wants no part of it. Now, fast forward back to this episode. Julie and tells Ethan, hey, let's go for a little walk. They say, sure. Boyd told her, like I said, Boyd's already told Father, don't open up the door. Julie and Ethan go for a walk, and they go back to that place where Boyd went. She goes into a trance in her mind and goes inside the place. She sees herself. She sees Kylie's girlfriend and Randall all in a trance right there. All this stuff is going on. She sees Marvin there, who says, you got to throw him the rope. And you got to remember season 1, Boyd jumped in the tree to save himself, finds himself in a well, and Marvin's yelling, you got to catch the rope to get out. You got to climb out. So we see all this. So we find out that Julie was the one who helped Boyd get out of that well to get to Marvin. So we found that out. That's a good plus right there. So as the show continues on, Ethan runs back to town. He gets help. They bring Julie. They get Julie out of that little pit area. She comes back to 2. She's just shot with everything she's seen. You got that. Elgin comes to Fatima and says, I know how to help you. I was sent here to help you. Fatima right now is on the edge. She's on the edge because people in town are thinking that Sarah was the one that killed Tilly. So Donald's trying to keep control. Boyd tells the truth. Then no, Fatima killed her. And Donald says, we got to do something. Either you tell them, Boyd, or either I'm going to start telling people we got to do something. So Boyd's still battling that. The Boyd's just going through a lot right now. You got the police officer who wants a gun back. The Boyd took. He told she'd get the bullets back. All this stuff's going on. Boyd right now. The Boyd said, you don't break me. And I promise you, this season, every episode, they have breaking Boyd to a point where he's not that strong, fearless leader that kept the town. He was the glue to the town. And with anything, when you take the glue and the backbone out, things fall apart. And breaking Boyd down, everybody else is trickling down, falling apart, breaking down. Elgin comes and gets Fatima and brings her to the cabin. Fatima now, when she gets there, she's starting to have some mixed reviews. Like, no, we don't need to be here, Elgin. Let me go get Boyd. Let me go get Elliot. Then we can come back. But Elgin is determined to keep her in there, saying this is the only way that you'll be safe and for the baby. And when she gets ready to walk out, she has bad stomach pains. He can see the baby knows it needs to be here. She tries to get to the step, and Elgin pulls her back. And that's when we see like the first turn on Elgin. Like, maybe Elgin, you remember, he freaked out when he got here. He said, no, turn around. We cannot go when they saw the tree. He told everybody to turn around, but they would not turn around. They can pursue on to Fromville. Makes you wonder, has Elgin been there and got out also and now is back? But we will find that out on this episode right here. 2 more to go from. They already dropped the trailer for episode 9. It already looks like it's going to be another slam dunk. But this was all the build up for Elgin kidnapping Fatima in that cabinet. And who was the dead woman? Was it Eloise? Was it Victor's mom? So a lot of people saying that ghost of Fatima is starting to look more and more like Victor's mom, Eloise. So all of that's getting ready to come back. Will she have the baby down there? What's the blood for? All of this stuff. Will Boyd keep the town together? Will the town continue to crumble? So much going on in Fromville that I'm just looking forward to it. 2 good shows. Tulsa King will wrap up on Sunday. Fromville will drop number 9. Then number 10 will drop. Then we'll have to wait an entire calendar year for both of these shows to come back. I wish they would come back earlier, but the suspense of making you wait makes the shows even better. This is Shawn. Hope you enjoyed this week of It Stinks. We had Tulsa King. We had From. We got Cobra Kai coming out on the 15th. We got Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson on the 15th. We got Moonshiners that came out on Tuesday night. We got Wednesday has been renewed 2025. Go watch Wednesday if you haven't watched it yet. Definitely go watch that. Check that out so when 2025 comes, you're ready for it. We got an announcement that Stranger Things will be coming out in 2025. Go watch Stranger Things. Hey, don't forget, Alex Cross comes out another week on Prime. A good show right there. Remember reading the Alex Cross books? Watch the Alex Cross movie that Tyler Perry did. The movie was just like the books. A very smart detective in D.C. That's going to be a great series right there. If you're into mysteries and stuff like that, Alex Cross will be the show for you. This is Shawn. This is It Stinks. This is Boom Broadcast. We'll see you later. Bye, friends.